I'm a little concerned about Press Secretary Jen Psaki. And the reason is because she, you know, we knew all along that she wasn't necessarily informed about what was going on. We know that her job is to go out there and lie about her boss and cover for him when he makes a flub and that kind of thing. But I will say this. I thought she was in much better condition than she is physically. Mentally, there's no hope for any of them. But physically, I thought she was in much better condition. Apparently, she's got some serious health problems. And I don't know if she meant to or whatever, but she kind of let the cat out of the bag. At the press briefing yesterday, she was asked this by a reporter about Joe Biden.
What more can you tell us about the president's health regime? We hear he's lifting weights. What sort of weights is he lifting? Does he have a personal trainer? And what happened to his Peloton bike? Did he bring it to the White House?
By the way, here's more hard-hitting journalism. Oh, what can you tell us about the president's regime of exercise? And where is his Peloton bicycle? That's what we use, that Peloton bike. Where did he bring that with him? I mean, this is the press secretary of the United States. We're in the middle of multiple crises, and he wants to know if Joe Biden's physically fit. So here is what Jen Psaki said in response.
I will say I have nothing to read out on the president's private exercise regime, but I can tell you, having traveled with him a fair amount, sometimes he's hard to keep up with.
Sometimes he's hard to keep up with? Is that what she said?
Sometimes he's hard to keep up with.
Joe Biden is hard to keep up with.
Sometimes he's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, said no one ever. I mean, come on. She can't keep up with Joe Biden. She's a 42-year-old mother of two who swam competitively for the College of William and Mary. And she can't keep up with a 78-year-old youthful geriatric who stutters and stumbles and suffers from cognitive decline. She can't keep up with him. She's clearly lying once again.
Sometimes he's hard to keep up with.
Joe Biden is never hard to keep up with. Well, okay, in all fairness, unless she's not talking about his exercise regimen, maybe she's just talking about his speech patterns. Because I'll be honest, sometimes when Joe Biden speaks, I have trouble keeping up with him too, like when he was at FEMA the other day.
But there's to be, beginning this effort for 2021 is, I think we've learned a few lessons from last year as well.
Yeah, you know what? That was hard to keep up with, so maybe she's right.
Sometimes he's hard to keep up with.
Here's another little ditty from April 30th when he was talking about Amtrak routes.
Money for high-speed rail at 200 miles an hour from Charlotte. Another line going from in Florida down to Tampa.
Tampa, yeah.
Another line. If we had moved, Gov, we'd have that tunnel fixed in New York now.
Sometimes he's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, especially when he's talking about geography. Joe Biden geography. Charlotte, Florida to New York. I mean, she says, though, that we know, I guess, I mean, it's common knowledge. He's hard to keep up with when he talks. But she's claiming that he's hard to keep up with physically, that he's in such great strength. And it happens to be, she doesn't know what his exercise regimen is, though. She said, look, I'm not up to date on what kind of exercises he's doing, but I know that he's in great shape. Well, fun fact, we did some research. We called in a couple of favors. And we got a list. We got a list of Joe Biden's daily exercise regimen. We know what Joe Biden is doing so that he can leave Jen Psaki in the dust. Do you want to hear what Joe Biden does every day for exercise?
I do.
All right. Every day he wakes up and he warms up with 25 jumping Joes. Then, like a lot of people do the military press.
Right.
Right. Well, he doesn't really have a really good, relationship with the military. He does 3 sets of military press. Cuts their funding, all that kind of stuff. Then he goes into 10 burpees, which means he just burps and then pees. Because that's what
old guys do.
Yeah, it's like, burp. Oh, tinkle. Oh,
Josh, are you not liking these?
He's got to announce every bodily function. A tinkle.
Oh, tinkle. Jill, I burped and tinkled again. Another burpee. Then he does 15 minutes of Thai bow, but not to play favorites with his sons. He then does 15 minutes of Thai hunter. Because he had 2 sons, Bo and...
No, I got it.
Yeah. Then, because he doesn't want to offend China, he does 15 minutes of Tai Chi.
That's good.
Sometimes he gets confused, though, and he just spends 15 minutes drinking chai tea, which is...
Chai tea.
Dementia will do that.
Burpee. Oh, wetness. All right, then, this is great. He wraps it up by doing 20 minutes falling up the Stairmaster.
practice.
Yeah. And then he just finishes off the day with 2 hours of diddly squats. Yeah. That's what. Mr. President, you've been sitting in that chair for a long time. What are you doing? Doing my diddly squats. Don't bug me. What is that, work? No, I'm doing diddly squats.